the San Francisco 49ers. And we were just talking to Tyler Dunn just a moment ago, and we had a bunch of different questions about the 49ers from Linda also in the comments. Right. So shout out to Linda again. Yes. And then you had some, and everybody's, what we said, the big question is Aiyuk and all this other stuff that's been going around there, but nobody's talking about the DNR and Trent Williams. This guy that keeps holding out everywhere he goes, though, too, you know what I mean? And then does it, wants to be paid, highest paid, tackle here. He's getting older and he's still, playing at an elite level. Don't get me wrong, though, too.
Amazing.
But still, did not report still here on this whole thing as the season's about to get started. And he's a key cog in this whole wheel that drives the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, things are going to get worked out with him. Like, the Niners understand how important he is. The Niners understand how important Aiyuk is. And you heard it from Tyler earlier. Like, that deal is going to get done. It's not a matter of if, it's now a matter of when. It's going to get done relatively soon. I think within the coming next week, 5 to 7 days, you're going to see a new deal agreed upon between Aiyuk and the Niners. And we've already heard rumors this past couple of days anyway, or past week, that they're closer now than they've ever been before. Now it's the wheels are starting to turn, and we've heard from Tyler earlier that he said John Lynch and company, they're like, no way, he's not going nowhere. Like, he was never going to go nowhere. Now, it was cool and fun to talk about trade scenarios and whatever for him, but that's dead now. So Aiyuk is going to stay. And why wouldn't you want to? This is a team that is Super Bowl contender, and it has been for the last few years, and now they're going to continue that this year. They're stocking up. They've already got the pieces in place. Now it looks like they're going to just retool and let's push yet again. Kyle Shanahan, Niner fans, you got to be concerned about this. Like, this has happened twice now where you've gotten into a heated battle in the postseason and you've come up short because of Kyle Shanahan's play calling. He did it. He did it before with it before with Atlanta, and he did the same exact thing this past season against the Chiefs. Dude, run the ball, kill the clock. Yeah. So to make it way harder for a team to come back. So
you were having success. Same thing. Like we talk 100%. About the Atlanta Falcons when he was the offensive coordinator for there. They were a two-headed monster at running back. The defense was making plays. They were running at will in that game as well. And then you go pass when it's time to kill the clock. They did the same thing. Despite even that first turnover in this last Super Bowl here with the 49ers, when Christian McCaffrey fumbled, he still got, back and was performing, and he was the bell cow of this whole team. And they were running at will. That's it. You have so many tools and so many things to beat that team, and they had them on the ropes, and you let them off the hook. So when it gets down to crunch time and overtime, to where, like Tyler said, he obviously didn't understand the rules completely, and he's openly said it in press conferences. Well, I thought this and thought that, and he obviously didn't. He didn't get it. But don't put yourself in those situations. When you have a team on the ropes, it's time to put them out. The knockout punch, and they refuse to do that, and it's all on him.
Absolutely. And we keep mentioning Tyler. So for the viewers out there that have just checked in, just want to reiterate that we've interviewed Tyler Dunn. The dude is an NFL insider. He's a legit dude, and he knows his stuff. He talks to everybody throughout the league. So if you want to check out that episode where we asked some hard questions, we had some great questions from our audience to chime in. Definitely go back to our show, and you can do that real simply by heading to YouTube and then also hitting that podcast tab, and that they'll bring you down right to the Blindside Blitz shows, all right there. You can look at some old ones, some recent ones, even check out the interview that's going to be posted up later tomorrow.
That's right.
But it's a blast. We had a great time with Tyler. He was very informative, knows his shit, and talks to everybody. So if next time we have him on the show, just saying, Blitz Nation, if you tune in, maybe you can ask him a question while he's on the air about your team, about a scenario, whatever. So check us out on YouTube. Subscribe.
Nice. Very well done. Again, the 49ers, we don't have to talk a whole lot about this team. Again, there's the team that just keeps getting it done. But again, that window is there to where they've made it so many different times. You can only squander it so many times. Wide receiving core is solid. One guy I think a lot of people don't talk about enough, Juwan Jennings, who's really kind of come out on the scenes when you've had your Deebo Samuel being injured and stuff like that. You see a lot more of him making some plays, especially last year. And they did go and draft Ricky Parasol, Joe.
Yeah, forget Juwan Jennings. Like Ricky Parasol to me is going to be the future of this team. This guy has some of the best hands to come out of college football in a long time. Dude catches amazing, amazing acrobatic catches, controls his body extremely well, very strong type of wide receiver, and a guy who has speed to go along with it. I'm very excited for him to get his reps this year as a rookie and maybe even carve out that starting spot. But you're right, Jim. Like Juwan Jennings has upside, but at the same time, I just think Ricky Parasol is going to be so much of a greater talent. And we don't have to talk all day long about the 49ers because Jim's right. We know what this team's going to do. And as far as a window goes, to me, I don't see a window because they've managed to do a great job of making the right choice during draft, making the right signing during free agency. And then sometimes they pull off a trade that you didn't expect. And it's just going to continue this steamroller of a team that they got going on. Great offensive line. We think Trent Williams, that deal is going to get done before week 1, so nobody panic. Brandon Aiyuk, you heard it here first. Tyler Dunn said earlier, that's so close and getting done that it's going to happen relatively soon. And everything else is strong. Brock Purdy, a guy who had a tremendous season last year. George Kittle, all the weapons galore. This offense is stacked. There's no weaknesses. Let's move on to the defense.
Yeah, absolutely. And that defense again has, Nick Bosa right there. Drake Greenlaw right now on the PUP list, or we're looking to see him come back because he's a major key in this defense too as well. Again, stacked. Just Travarius Ward, Leonard Floyd's a bit older and things like that. So that's a little bit long in the tooth for them here, but these guys are going to come every single week and get the pressure. And what's funny is you notice in the Super Bowl again, when you're looking back at videos afterwards, how many times they were held by the Chiefs too.
Oh my God.
And didn't get called and things like that. And
favoritism.
It's tough when you do. I hate to bring this up again.
Favoritism.
But when you got this team that has the pass rush every single year, every single game, top 3 in points against, our yardage too, and top 8 in the points. They're there. They're making sacks, getting the pressure, and then all of a sudden they're not getting any in the Super Bowl.
Right.
Just doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Things aren't adding up here. But
for an offensive line, just like you said, besides holding 49ers, they've been holding teams all throughout the regular season and getting away with it. Amongst other things. Juwan Taylor, line up right, would you?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But again, you've got a lot of veterans here, Javon Hargrave too. So not only do they lose some things, but they bring some guys right back here, and they're looking to come back with a vengeance again.
Yeah, here's my thing is, unlike the offense for me with the Niners, the defense is definitely very different. This is a team that their defensive line from a year ago looked really different. When you looked at their defensive end opposite Nick Bosa, it's Leonard Floyd now. Mm-hmm. It's Malik Collins at D tackle. No more Javon Kinlaw. Like Javon Hargrave is there, and that's all well and good. But Javon Hargrave, if you notice, even last year, he played well, but he didn't play at such a high level like he once did with Philly. Whereas he had 9 to 10 sacks, as a D tackle last year. I don't even know if he had even got close to 9. He might have even got only 5 or 6. So it's like, is he starting to, decline a little bit as an older veteran at D tackle? Is the game wearing him down now? And then you have Nick Bosa, where Nick Bosa can't do everything by himself. We've seen the likes of Joey Bosa before Matt got there. Mm-hmm. You saw, Max Crosby, him being the lone soldier as a defensive end and how teams double and triple team him. Watch for that to happen this season now, guys. Because why? Because there's no real threat opposite Bosa. There's no threat other than just him. Malik Collins, I'm sorry. People in Houston might have liked him. He's a good guy. This, on the other thing. I'm sorry. Production is going to go down below the basement here with this defensive line that's right now.
Yeah, and I understand where you're coming from. And again, Javon Hargrave had 7 sacks last season. And one of the guys too, like you said, you're missing Eric Armstead. Five sacks on his
Dude
own
was
too.
amazing.
And again, and that doesn't even count for everything that he does. And
yeah,
that's the thing. Some of these guys.
He also plays well against the run.
Yes.
Where Leonard Floyd is not that. Leonard
Right.
Floyd is just a pass rusher. So if you're going to have him in on those downs, those short distance downs, where he's just going to get blocked right out of the way, easy first downs off the edge there.
And
then I will have to say this about their linebacking core. We all know Dre Greenlaw. He's going to be healthy. He's going to come back, and Fred Warner's going to be very happy with that. But the underlining of this linebacking core is the fact that they signed Devondre Campbell. This dude is an amazing linebacker. Yes, he's a little bit older, but you're putting him with Dre and Fred in that middle. He's going to be amazing for this team. And they also have some great depth behind him, some young talent that I saw in preseason that they're like the next up and coming linebackers for this team. So I love the secondary. We all know that they're very locked down in that back end. You know, Charvarius Ward was a lockdown corner for them last year. Talanoa Hufanga, he's coming back like we see from the PUP list. He's going to be healthy. A guy who reminds me a lot of Troy Polamalu, a guy that just kind of, and yes, it is because of the hair. Like the guy has those long locks and he just flies around and all you see is the hair moving around like a heat-seeking missile. So watch out for him over the middle. And then obviously the rest of their secondary is solid, young, up and coming. So again, I have no question, like the offense from a linebacking standpoint through the secondary, no questions. My biggest question is pass rushing. That's what this defense kind of, keeps it rolling. If you have a good pass rush up front, everybody eats on the back end. I'm not so sure it's going to be the same mantra this season for them.
Hey everybody, this is Big John from Grumblings Media, and I just want to say thank you for watching our content. If you want to support our efforts here at Grumblings Media, just smash the subscribe button right here, totally free, or just go ahead and consume more of our great content. Click either one of these 2 boxes.